so I wanted to do another video. I know I should probably like save these and space them out, but I just don't really work like that. I tend to like have a run of inspiration and I do stuff and post it and then wait till I get the next one. Um, so I wanted to talk a little bit about, the pull that we all get. Sorry, my hair's like really weird. Um, so that feeling where you just like, I think a lot of us, it's that person we call our twin flame when we first meet them because it's such an intense connection and it's so strong and oh my god, you like feel that like almost pulling from yourself to them and you're just so connected and you can almost feel your like soul pulling to them. And the first time that I had that experience in like a really, really extreme way, yeah, obviously I was like, what the hell is going on here? And this was, almost a decade ago now. I remember thinking if this process lasts for a month, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself. Here I am like years later. But yeah, I found out about twin flames very quickly, and there was a lot out there at the time. I mean, actually, this is where I don't really know, like, have we all evolved and the information out there now is more evolved, or is it actually that I've just evolved, so the information coming at me in my reality has always been there, but I'm now just vibrationally in alignment to see it? Probably the latter, actually, but yeah, so that basically really, really strong pull, and you're like, sure, this person is your destined partner, and blah, 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 blah. Like I've now had that a few times in my life, and I came to realize that pull is not love. That's what society thinks is love because most people have not gone beyond that feeling to know what actual love is, and it's not feeling like your soul is being like pulled out of your body, or at least that's what I've gotten to in my experience. That pulling feeling for me has always been, in hindsight, where I have been, I don't want to say incomplete inside because we are complete, but it's been showing me areas where I didn't love myself fully or deeply enough. So I was seeking other people to love me. So, I mean, they're not even other people, they're like projections of myself, but I was seeking externally to fill the void that I needed to fill within through doing mirror work and just generally, a lot of self work. And so, for example, if we meet somebody and, maybe there's like a wound of, you don't feel beautiful enough, you don't have enough like self-worth about your appearance, or maybe you feel like you're not seen on a deep enough level, that really strong pull in my experience, and most of the people that I've kind of walked this journey with, has been because you're not seeing it inside of yourself, and it's like you're projecting that onto a person that you probably have a contract with. I actually haven't come to establish where all that, why specific people, but for some reason you projecting onto that specific person, and it's like only they can make you feel like complete. So it's like your soul is pulling to them because it wants to complete itself, right? And when but when you are seeking it outside, it's never successful. So what ends up happening is you end up like, yeah, having these connections, these people that just can't give it to you due to circumstances in their own life. They just can't give it to you. So maybe you are seeking like, I'm struggling. Maybe you have like abandonment issues, and so you'll end up feeling this really, really strong pull to people that just abandon you, and all you need is for them to, make you feel like they're there, like they haven't abandoned you, and it's just them. It's like you pin it on that person. It's like all of your inner staff is like in this person. I hope I'm explaining this properly. And you're just putting so much emphasis outside of yourself on this person, like making you feel whole because your soul is pulling to them. And from my experience, the more that I've done mirror work on myself and the more that I've like really analyzed connection. So if, you know, any of these situations, I'm like, you know, I'm pissed off that men keep messaging me. Actually, that is something that I had. So I think one of my big core wounds, and I think a lot of people probably have this, is being seen on a deep level as a soul, like being fully seen. Because I used to always fear that men would just run around after hot women or whatever and not like want a deep enough connection and value me and see me for all that I was as a soul. But then the irony to that was that I didn't, you know, I was basing so much on my looks. So I'd be meeting people think, oh my God, am I good enough looking for them? Am I good enough looking for them? And I'd be putting out that projection into the world as well, you know, of like trying to look hot all the time. And then I'd also get really pissed off when I would meet men and they would just comment on my appearance. Because then on the flip side of that, I would get a lot of men that'd be like, oh my God, you're so hot, or you're so good looking, or whatever. And I'd be like, what an idiot. Like, you know, is that all he's after? And I would think really negatively, you know, and yeah, there was kind of no winning, but I was basically seeking to feel beautiful, to be seen as a soul, like through these people that just for whatever reason couldn't like give that, because, you know, I was particularly drawn and connected to people that weren't or couldn't see that deeper value because of their own issues, like maybe they had sex addiction or intimacy disorder or whatever, like, you know, every possible combination under the sun. But the point is, like, we were drawn like, you know, moths to a flame because, you know, they represented something that I wanted to find in myself, but I wanted them to give it me. But because they weren't giving it to me, it was like, you know, I need it, give it to me, make me feel desirable, like make me feel seen entirely as a soul. And this person's like, I can't do that because, you know, and as soon as I actually like started to fill myself up, that like pulling feeling that I had to people just really, really dipped to like hardly feeling it at all now. Whereas when I first started the journey, it was 24/7, literally like it was like that awakening when someone just like was pulling my soul. So for me, anytime there's that pull or that, you know, feeling like your soul is being pulled, it's just that process of like, what am I trying to seek externally that I actually need to find within? So it's really about looking at those connections where there's a pull and looking at what you're trying to get from them. And that isn't actually unconditional love. That isn't love. You're actually just trying to get something from them because you haven't found it in yourself. And, you know, you have to be really honest with yourself to find that and to really dig deep. And if you're not in some kind of harmonious union, then there probably is still something that you are seeking from a person. And, you know, to get into a union or, you know, a really, you know, a deeper place, that's what unconditional love is. You know, it's loving it. You can't love somebody, you know, I think this has been said a lot. You can't love somebody till you love yourself. And, you know, and that's because until you truly love yourself, only then can you actually be in a pure love experience. Till then, you are just literally trying to get stuff from an external source because you haven't filled it up inside of yourself. You haven't truly lived it inside of. Oh, my cat has got a little sore on her. I have to interrupt for this, and she has to wear this little collar, and she's been ever so good. Like the first day she hated it, but you say hi, Lila. She's been ever so good, but I do really feel sorry for her because, you know, that's pleasant. But she's got to stop licking this wound so it can heal. She'll hopefully only have it on for a few more days. But she's got her Elizabethan collar. Um, so yeah, that was what I wanted to say is like, just don't mistake that pull for love. You know, that pull is you. Everything is you. Like everything that shows up in your world and experience is you. So if you're feeling a pull, rather than just like sit with it and just hope that this person's going to miraculously reappear, it's like, you know, fill up the thing that you want from them. And yeah, I know everybody says, I just want to be with them, I just love them. But if you really dig deep, there is always that thing that you really can see that you actually want them to validate you in some way. Um, and if you weren't, they would be there because you would have, you know, come into inner unity and filled yourself up, so you'd have that experience on the outside. So if it's not there, there's still work to be done. So anyway, I will be back soon.